Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're confronting a reality that's rarely spoken of, yet intimately felt by millions. We're examining an invisible barrier. It's a profound structural inequality that shapes human destiny long before a person even realizes they're on a path. It's a reality forged not by malice in the open, but by withholding what's absolutely essential. We are looking at the privilege of information and the heavy, enduring weight of inheriting nothing but silence.
The struggle to breathe. There is a kind of suffocation that doesn't involve choking or gasping for air. It's the quiet kind, the kind that settles over the ears, pressing gently but persistently. It's not a dramatic loss of physical breath. It is the slow, quiet pressure of realizing you are enclosed in a restricted reality, completely cut off from the vital oxygen of guidance, of truth, of knowing how the world actually works.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1. The quiet suffocation. The unseen struggle to breathe.
Which brings us to Part 2, Nudged in the Wrong Direction, the subtle divergence of a life. This is really about how early momentum completely dictates a person's fate.
You see, this quiet suffocation operates entirely out of sight. It begins with a nudge in the wrong direction. A nudge, even though small, yet strong enough to alter the entire course of her life. The forced command to simply go left. It is the story of those who were forced into paths they didn't choose, not because they failed, but because of a lack of knowledge on the dynamics of systems. They just didn't know how the machinery of the world actually operated.
Part 3. Information as a privilege. Navigating without a map. The truth is, life back then didn't just test intelligence, it tested navigation. And those who failed to navigate, or were never even handed a map, paid with their potential. Raw intellect is absolutely useless if you're dropped in the middle of a dense forest without a compass. Those who were never handed that map, well, they paid the ultimate price.
Because information was a privilege that depended entirely on luck. It required access to intelligent, trustworthy people, which, let's be honest, most don't have. And those who did often kept it to themselves. Back then, people were forced to rely on fragmented truths, half-baked advice, and communities that wished to protect their own pride rather than lift others up. Survival meant navigating a maze where the walls just kept shifting.
Part 4. Inheriting silence, the disparity of access. This deep, systemic inequality makes it incredibly difficult to grow with any real dignity.
And this brilliantly illustrates the divide. In a society where access is everything, the rich pass down influence like precious family heirlooms, and the disadvantaged, they inherit only silence. It's a devastating, echoing void where guidance should be, keeping individuals utterly uninformed and powerless across generations.
This is about how difficult it is to grow with dignity in a system that favors leverage over efforts and elite contacts over absolute clarity. When you have no leverage and no contacts, your hardest, honest efforts are easily buried by those who effortlessly pull the levers of the system, simply because they were taught exactly where those levers are.
The rules of this reality are absolute and brutally clear. If you don't know, you don't grow. It's a stark, uncompromising truth.
We have to acknowledge the immense human cost here. This is about those misguided, misdirected, and misinformed lives. It's about how her dreams, and the dreams of countless others, just get lost with the silence, fading quietly away simply because no one was there to turn on the light.
Let's move to Part 5 and see how this builds the Age of Answers, a world changed.
Because the world is fundamentally changed, and almost all the answers are a search away. Back then, relying on fragmented truths and half-baked advice was the norm. Today, the map that was once denied to the masses is actively being drawn and freely distributed on glowing screens all around the globe. It's a profound shift in access that could finally dismantle that silent hoarding of the past.
Yet, despite this profound shift, we are left with a haunting question. In a world where the answers are just a search away, whose dreams are still getting lost in silence today? What invisible tethers remain, and who is out there, right now, still waiting to be handed the map?